Hey everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and today we are going to do one of my favorite things, embossing, and we are using this beautiful background stamp called Breathtaking Bouquet. It is a large stamp and it's just gorgeous. So on today's project we've heat embossed that with white embossing powder, and then we've created or turned this into a birthday card. So I've embossed both sentiments as well. We're also going to use our peaceful moments for our sentiments. We are going to use our Stitched So Sweetly dies. We're going to use one of those rectangles for our vellum, as well as our label for our sentiment. And then I'm also using our cherry blossom dies to get our little flowers here. So multiple products, but definitely a gorgeous turnout. We're also going to use our Crinkled Whisper White Seam Binding Ribbon. This is in our current mini catalog. So let's go ahead and jump in. We will start with all of our embossing of our background first. So I'm using Mary Merlot as our card base. And let me open this. I have my Stamparatus here. I like using the Stamparatus for my background stamps because if you don't get good coverage, you can always go right back and, you know, re-stamp it and everything's still aligned. So I have my paper lined up in here. This is 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. I have my stamp on my piece here, and I think I have it pretty good aligned pretty well. I'm trying to get as close to that score line as possible so that I don't have any blank edges, but if we do, you know, it'll be fine. So I'm going to bring in my Versamark, and I'm going to ink up the entire stamp, and I'm sure I'm a little bit out of frame there, but we're going to add a lot of Versamark here. Want to make sure we get good image. Okay, so let's stick that back in. Okay, and then we're going to come in, and I just like to kind of give even pressure all over the stamp. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me see. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, and then for me, I just bring in my chamois, and I'll just wipe that Versamark right off. Okay, we'll take up our, oops, almost hooked those together. Take up our magnets. Alright, let's set this aside. Okay, and then I have a piece, oh, and this is a pretty dirty piece. Let me grab a fresh piece of grid paper here. We're going to fold this in half. The white embossing powder here. And we're going to just put our powder all the way. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. The white just really pops on this Mary Merlot. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to catch my powder, put it right back in here. We're going to use this again. Okay, we'll set this aside for the moment. Let me grab my heat tool, and it might not quite reach this far, but we will do our best and we will emboss. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's give that a moment. We're going to set that aside, and I think what we'll do is we'll grab our Big Shot and do a little bit of our die cutting. So we will start with our vellum, and I am using, I believe, this is the largest rectangle from the Stitched So Sweetly. You know, that's my absolute favorite. I've been using it on, I swear, it feels like almost every project lately. I'm just going to run that through a couple times to make sure I get a nice, good cut along the edge. Yeah, I just want it to pop right out. Let me get this edge here. Oh, for some reason this one doesn't want, there we go. There we go. Okay, we'll set that aside. I have a piece of gray granite, and we are going to use our big label. We'll cut that out as well. There we go. Okay, and then let's do some of our flowers here. So we have a piece here that does two. We're going to do that in the Merry Merlot. Get those two out. Okay, I have a little scrap here of Petal Pink. I'm going to use the smaller flowers. Oops, one of them is stuck there. Where's my little piercer? Let me get that out. Okay, and then I have a piece of Mossy Meadow. And we are going to do the leaves with the Mossy Meadow. Let me grab that. Another little scrap. I love using scraps on these little pieces. So otherwise I find that I build up a lot of scraps and I just feel bad. You gotta use them for something. Okay, let's put that down. Let's do two of those. Alright, so I think we are done with our die cutting machine. Let's set all these aside. Let's do a little bit more embossing. So we will take our embossing buddy and do our label. We're going to grab our 2 sentiments here. We're going to do this one on the front. This is wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Let's ink that up. Let's put that right in the middle. Gorgeous. Oops, let's bring in our powder. I'm going to do this right over my container. Give that a little fling. Gorgeous. Okay, let's bring back in our base here that we embossed the front of. And now I'm just going to grab my embossing buddy, do a little bit in the center. We'll take the happy birthday in our Versamark, and we will stamp that right down. Gorgeous. Okay, let's do the same thing with this. We'll just do it right over our container. Very good. Okay, let's close this up. Set all this aside, and let's get the heat tool back in here and do some more embossing. Okay, I just love how that white pops on the Merry Merlot and the gray granite. It really sticks out on that as well. Okay, so let's give our base here. I got little bits of embossing powder. That's okay. And give that a nice crease. Okay, let's go ahead and start to assemble. So I'm going to use a little bit of snail on the back center of the vellum. Because the vellum's transparent, it will show, but we're going to cover that with our label. So I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, I'm going to take my crinkled ribbon, and we are going to tie a bow here. Should probably have made this a little bigger. Hold on. Okay, let me get my ribbon scissors and let's cut that, set that aside, and I can always adjust this and retie it. I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Let me grab, I got some edges here to put on the back of our label. Okay. And we'll now put that right in the center. All right. And then I actually am using glue dots. Where did I put them? They're probably hiding somewhere right in front of me. Yes, they are. All right. I'm going to take the glue dots and I'm going to put those to our leaves, our flowers. Just like this. Let's see if we need two more. Okay, and then I'm going to take my leaves, I'm just going to lift them up there, and then we're going to lay that down. Okay, let's grab one of the petal pink ones. I'm going to kind of overlap those a little bit. I don't want it to cover our sentiment. Okay, so now you can see these flowers had little centers that will also be die cut out. I'm actually going to use a few sequins, and I'm going to put the petal pink ones on our Mary Merlot. I apologize if my head just got in the camera there. And then I'm going to use these ones that are green on the petal pink. Just like that. And then that will complete today's project. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and this heat embossing. The beautiful bouquet, or breathtaking bouquet rather, stamp set is gorgeous for background. So just keep that in mind. And the heat embossing, I just love that. You know that's one of my favorite techniques if you're one of my frequent watchers. So you can find a full supply list of all the products that I used in the description of this video. And I look forward to being back with you real soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.